So I wanted to come on and share, I'll call it a testimony. It is a testimony. So I wanted to share a testimony about something that happened recently to me and to my family. And I want to be fully transparent. So I hope this is a safe place. Is this a safe place? Because if you're going to share it, then share it as a testimony. I don't like what you're talking about me and girl, did you hear? Anyway, so take a second. A couple weeks ago, let me rewind. About a month ago, I started praying that God would use me. And I mentioned in a recent interview that my prayers have changed. I used to pray what I call selfish prayers because they were all about me and what I want and God, can you give me this and this and this? And my prayers changed. They changed to how can I help? I'm here to serve. I want to be a blessing to others. Put me to work, basically. And that was my prayer. And then I was laid off. And I was like, for real? This is how we answer in prayers? Laying people off? But I stayed in faith because I've been through this before previously, and every single time I was laid off or something happened with my company, the door that he closed, right, it was a lot smaller than the door that he opened. So I continued to stay in prayer. I held on to some of the promises that are in the Bible that he said about, just for instance, like tithing and putting him first and how he'll bless you abundantly. And so I was like, you know what, God's got it. God's got it. So I will share a story with you now that you know that I'm sitting around here with no job. About a month ago, the doorbell rings. So we're sitting here after school. I had picked up the kids. The doorbell rings, and it's this little boy. So he asked if Cameron can come outside and play basketball. And I said, okay, yeah, that's fine. Cameron goes outside, he plays. So he comes back in, and I was like, you know what, I've never seen that little boy. Who is that? He goes, oh, he's our neighbor. So he literally lives, like I can point to their house right here. They live right here. And he said that he invited him at school to come over and play basketball. So I said, okay, that's nice. Sidebar, Cameron's a student ambassador at his school, which is basically whenever new kids come to the school, this little team of kids reaches out, they show them around the school, introduce them to other kids. So I was like, okay, cool, look at Cameron taking this job seriously. So that's that. About a week later, this little boy's mom, the little boy and Cameron are out playing basketball in the front yard. The little boy's mom comes over and she says, I just want to express how happy I am that your son has reached out to my son. And I said, really? What do you mean? She goes, well, we moved here at the beginning of the school year and my son was really, sorry, the phone rang. It keeps, anyway. So she comes over and she was like, we moved here at the beginning of the school year. My son was really upset because he hadn't made, many friends yet. He, just was having a hard time finding his place in school. And she said, and, he was like was really upset. And she said now that Cameron had reached out, Cameron had introduced him to some more kids at the school. And she just said, it is just so much more peaceful now in our home because he's kind of found his place. And I'm looking at Cameron like, okay, good. I'm glad. Cameron has a very beautiful spirit. He's got a warm heart. And look at him back there. I'm so glad that he did that and he was able to help this family. So she and I talked for a little while. We actually hit it off. It was a very interesting conversation, learning about where she had come from and just us sharing stories back and forth. It was a great meeting. So she gets her son, they go home, and I come inside and I just had this very overwhelming feeling that I was supposed to have met her for some unforeseen reason, right? So we had a couple conversations here and there over the course of the month, and that same feeling, I had that feeling every single time I walked away from her. Normally I meet people, oh, nice to meet you. I go my separate way. With this particular person, every time I talked to her, it just felt like she was supposed to be in my life for a reason, right? So then go back to, I get laid off. So this is a job I had been in for 5 years. I loved this job, okay? I had the flexibility to work from home. I was doing something I enjoyed, which was graphic design. It was paying well. I had the flexibility to be with my kids as well as work. Like the work-life balance was beautiful. And I literally prayed. I was like, God, allow me to be in this position, in this company, until you call me home, because it just doesn't get any better than this, right? And then boom, I get laid off. So I'm sitting here wondering, wow, what on earth? Like I think the doorbell just rang. This is why I do videos during the day when the kids are at school, because I have all these other little distractions. If not, Cameron's in the front yard. That's probably him. So we meet. It's great. Then I get laid off from this company, right? So here's where the story gets interesting. So, I just lost my train of thought again. Y'all, do I need to take, what is that stuff called? Ginkgo that helps your memory? Maybe, I don't. Anyway, so after I get I remember. So after I get laid off, it was literally like a week later, I get this letter in the mail from the mortgage company. Now, before I moved into this house, I was signing the paperwork, and I got down to the part where it talks about escrow. You know, do you want to escrow and roll the monthly payments into your monthly mortgage, or no? So I'm like, what do you mean, or no? Do I not have to pay it? And I was told that what you could do is take that chunk of money, put it into an interest-bearing account, and make money on your money. And then when that payment comes due at the end of the year, you just scoop it out and you make the payment, and now you've made a little extra money on the side. So I was like, why would I not do that? Why would I not make money off of my money? I want to do that. So I opted for that option, right? Guess who signed on the dotted line and did not think about that interest-bearing account for an entire year until that letter came in the mail saying you owe us money? Me. I did. So I open up this letter and it's like, you owe a gazillion trillion dollars and you have 2 months to pay it. I was just laid off. I'm sorry, where are we supposed to get this money from? A gazillion trillion dollars, and it's due in like 60 days. So I still was like, God, you got it. You're going to make a way. You're going to make a way. Again, I'm holding on to promises of abundant blessings. If I put him first, he's going to make a way, right? 2 days later, if you live in the North Dallas area and you experienced that freak hailstorm. So this hailstorm came out of nowhere. And it lasted 20 minutes, and not like this cute, little hail that you can go and like run and play in. I'm talking about the hail that's like busting out car windows and had people stranded on the side of the highway. I mean, we've got a broken window upstairs. It just demolished everything, including the outdoor patio that we just recently outfitted. So I had this idea to extend our patio, and not just extend it, but like turn it into this Ritz-Carlton oasis. It's so much stuff back there. I will admit, hindsight, that I may have gotten a little out of control, but I love sitting on the patio, and I felt like it was a great investment. Anyway, the hail demolished a lot of that stuff. So after the hailstorm, I was like, you know what? Let me just reach out. Some of that stuff I got off of Amazon. Let me just reach out to Amazon and see if they'll replace it. I just, was relying on their sympathy and was like, I loved your product. It was damaged in the hail. Do you guys have any way to kind of replace it? And all of them said, yes, we'll replace it for free. So I sent back the stuff that was damaged. They sent me back the new stuff. All was great. So remember the mom of the little boy who Cameron met? So she comes over after the hailstorm and she says, hey, I've got a roofer that you should use. And I was like, okay. She goes, he did the roof for my entire church family. You should really consider using him. I was like, all right, So I said, send him over. So he comes over, he talks to me, and he goes, the reason why I'm different is because I offer you a quote up front. And I said, okay. He goes, a lot of other roofing companies won't do that. They will have you sign a contract. Once you sign the contract, it basically says whatever the insurance company will pay you is how much it's going to cost to replace your roof, right? So he goes, what I do is I go up there, I use the same metrics that all these other companies use, and if it costs $500 to replace your roof, then if the insurance company gives you $1,000, then enjoy a trip on the insurance company to Costa Rica or whatever. So I was like, why would I not use this guy? In fact, I referred all of my neighbors to this guy. So the insurance adjuster comes out. He's checking, and I'm going to wrap this up because I realize I said short. This is like getting lengthy. The insurance adjuster comes out. He surveys the damage on the roof. He's looking at my backyard oasis and all the damage and all the stuff that was back there. And he leaves. So keep in mind now we've got broken windows from the hailstorm. We need our roof replaced. All the stuff in the backyard that, some of the stuff a lot of the stuff I did get replaced, but there was some stuff that we actually are going to need to use the insurance money to replace. I lost my job, and we've got this huge gazillion escrow shortage payment that we now owe. So at this point in most lives, you're stressed out, you're starting to worry, you may have shut God out because it's easy to get upset and to ask why, and why isn't he answering prayers, and how could he do this to me? And you turn your back to God, right? Because of the situation that's in front of your eyes. So the insurance company calls yesterday, and he's outlining the amount that they're going to give us to repair the damages. So I already have the quote from my roofer, so I know how much that's going to cost. Do y'all know? Oh, so I've got the quote from the roofer and how much that's going to cost. I've also already replaced all the stuff on the patio that the sellers on Amazon have agreed to replace for free. I get the check in the mail from the insurance company, and do y'all just take a wild guess how much it is? Well, I haven't used any numbers, so you don't know. But the check is basically going to cover replacing the roof, which we needed, and the extra was going to go to replacing all of our personal assets, which have already been replaced for free, right? That extra amount is also the exact same amount as the escrow shortage that we were looking at. How on earth are we going to pay this gazillion dollars? And Candace ain't got no job. Let's just take a moment right there. This is not meditation. This is me thanking God and how awesome he is. Do y'all understand what happened? I'm not going to voice it in case this gets out to my insurance company, but y'all see what happened, right? So I tend to ramble, and I'm going to try not to do that, but I talk like I do in conversation, so that's kind of what this is. Just the testimony here, and why I wanted to share this is because God used, of all things, a storm, a literal storm, to answer prayer and to come through and to bless us and to make a way. In the storm, I'm looking at what's in front of me and all the stuff that's getting damaged and how this situation doesn't look good and how are we gonna and what's the next step. And he caused the storm to make a way. So let that marinate for a second and think about what kind of maybe the stuff that you're going through and maybe how you're not praising him in the storm and just worrying. Stop stressing. It's not helping anything. Please show me the barometer or whatever that show that however much you stress positively affects your outcome, because I don't think there is anything like that exists. Instead, just continue to pray. When you pray, believe that he's going to come through and he's going to answer your prayer, and then he hears your prayers, and just praise him in the storms. Praise him in the literal storms. When the hail is coming down and you don't know what's going on, still praise him, because like in my situation, it was like balls of hail blessings just tearing stuff up, right? Anyway, I just wanted to share because I felt like, I was talking to my girlfriend about it this morning, and she was like, you need to tell this because it's probably someone going through the exact same thing that could use this. So I'm being obedient. I've learned that when I get this feeling of you need to share this, I just do it. I stop thinking about it. I stop thinking what people are going to think, and I just do it because it's meant for somebody. So I wanted to share it for that reason. And also I'm just super excited about the fact that I'm laid off and God is making a way. So I hope this has blessed someone out there. Continue to pray, continue to believe. He's an amazing God, and all things are possible through him. So Have a good day.